My name's Dominique, I'm from Joy Magazine, and welcome to Freebie Friday. Yeah!
Welcome to an introduction to good website design. At this session, you're going to find out what makes a website work and what makes a website fail. Can I get a whiteboard marker? Ask the ladies at the back. I'll draw you a wireframe and you'll see how easy it is. There's no excuse not to do wireframing. I once was tasked with coming up with a freemium gaming website. So I had to design a website that had games on the website and they were locked in stages. So you had to play. The more you played, the more you could unlock, or if you were in a hurry, you could pay to unlock the stages. You all know the model, right? It's called the freemium model. And when I did that first wireframe, I thought, everyone's going to get it. It's so obvious. Well, let me tell you, I had 20 people looking at those pages, and they couldn't. This is Ezra. He's single. The only single guy in Cape Town. So this is a wireframe. You can do this in PowerPoint. A whole bunch of lines. You can put text in there, you can put dummy images in there, you can, but you haven't sent it to the graphic designer, you've done this yourself. This is your visual brief. And then you take that to the HR department. You call one of the ladies, because they don't know anything about what you do for a living. They just do HR. And you actually can say to them, okay, what is this site about? And then it's like, I don't know, really. I think maybe it's a fashion site. Okay. And what would you do if you only had one click? Where would you click? I'd probably click over there. Okay. So then you go away and you fix it in Word or PowerPoint. And we've got special software that we use, wireframing software. So ours is actually clickable, a wireframe that acts like a website, but it's just blocks. You can drop in pictures and stuff to make it look as realistic as possible without spending a lot of time and money and effort on that. And once you've had that wireframe, gets to the point where somebody knows immediately what the site is about, what I need to do, what's in it for me, and then you know, okay, fantastic, I can now give this to the graphic designer and they can design it. You don't want to first ask your graphic designer to do this process because they don't like making changes. Can I see some graphic designers in the house? They're like, it's perfect. It doesn't need changes. I don't care if the font is really small, it looks pretty. So the first place to start in order to be a good client is, let's do a wireframe. Does everybody know what a wireframe is now? Yeah? Axure, A-X-U-R-E. It's awesome, I love it. But you don't, there's also, is it called Mockingbird? Mockingbird? Yeah. 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 There's a whole bunch of free software programs out there that you can use. They're free, but they don't save it, or there's always some catch. But the best thing you can do is PowerPoint or a Word document. Just draw, or just a piece of paper. If you don't even know how that works, just a piece of paper will work very well. And then you get it, the first iteration you get graphic designed, and then you get the testers in again, because everything changes once it's graphic designed. So suddenly the buttons are now not standing out, and the people, because in the wireframe it was clear that that was a button, because there was nothing competing for the attention. Now suddenly there's a host of colors and everything's overwhelming, and the people don't understand step 1, step 2, step 3. So then you have to get the graphic design tested by human beings. And only once the graphic design passes the test can you give it to the developers to develop. The best thing you can do in your user testing is get the graphic designer to sit in there, because they don't believe you. They will not believe you when you say, none of the clients could find the button. Well, nonsense. It's right there, you know. So definitely get them to sit in, otherwise they won't believe you. So I love doing user testing. If you've got a website and you're not sure if customers are finding their way through it properly, call us in for a session. We'll do user testing in front of your entire board. I'm that confident with user testing that I will get 4 strangers I have never met to come and one by one sit in front of an entire board of, you can put anybody in that room and we will find problems with your website. And you will go away and you'll just literally tighten up your website, tighten up the experience, and you'll have a better customer experience because you are frustrating people out there. They're getting irritated. So user testing will just cut a lot of those corners and save you a lot of time and money because you're going to go and build that thing. You would have built that thing. And then what? Are you going to make the changes after it's built? It doesn't happen that way. So first do the testing before because it is a pain in the butt to make changes after it's gone live. So what is some of your customers' fears? I don't know if I can trust this company. I don't know who you are. You look like a small company and a bunch of fly-by-nights. You're going to steal my money. A lot of people feel like somehow you're going to just suck that bank account number through the screen, even just looking at them, even though they haven't typed anything in. Somehow they have discovered your banking details and they're going to take money off your bank account. You've got that terrible paranoid fear that of just not trusting a website. So this session is hopefully going to teach you how to get your customers to trust your website. And stealing of information, just plain wasting time. And believe it or not, the bottom one is a real fear, that they're going to get lost. They're going to click on something and get lost in the internet and not know how to come back. And we all feel that in the back of our minds sometimes when there's this click. This is what we call banner blindness. There'll be some banner flicking out there, just a plain sales banner, something innocuous saying, we're giving away a free cruise. But the eye will not look at that banner because it's scary and it's unknown and I'm not sure where it's going to take me and I may get lost. So people don't click on banners a lot of the time because in the past it took them somewhere dodgy. And so that's what we call banner blindness. So make sure that you've done your user profiles. Do you know who your customers are? Cut out a picture, stick it on the wall, tell me what their needs are, tell me what they like, tell me which tone you're going to speak to them in. And you should have about 3 or 4 user profiles. Because if you're dealing with an older market and your font size is too small, then there's a problem. If you're writing in light gray on a white background, it's a problem. So if you're dealing with people whose first language isn't English, but you're writing in university level Oxford English, it's a problem. So you need to know who your customers are. And if you're doing one website, one size fits all, you have to cater for the lowest common denominator. You have to cater to the lowest user. So if your lowest user is Granny, who's 73 and who is using her laptop that her son bought her, but he lives in America and she doesn't really know how the software packages work and she doesn't understand the difference between the search button and Google search, you need to make it super, super easy for her to navigate that site. So a lot of my clients will say, yeah, no, but our clients are techies. No, they know how to navigate our site. They've figured it out because they're very clever. They're techies. Well, we've done user testing with the techies and they couldn't figure it out. So if you cater for the lowest user, everyone's going to be smiling. Okay, so once again, know what their goal is on your website. Why are they on your website? And then just make sure you've met that goal. If they're here to be entertained or educated or informed, whatever their goal is, make sure that your site ticks that box. Okay, now this is one of my favorite things to use as an analogy to represent your users, the piggy bank. Everybody lands on your website with a full piggy bank, an emotional piggy bank. Okay? Every time you make them think or click or fill in a form or do something, you make a withdrawal from that piggy bank. When that piggy bank hits 0, what do? Yeah, they go to Facebook. So it's your job to make sure that you don't exhaust that piggy bank before they've signed up. How many times have you signed up on a website and then they ask you for the newsletter again and you fill in your info again on the newsletter, and then when it comes to paying you have to fill in all your info that you've already filled in on the sign up. Now you have to refill it in on the payment form, and your address and your telephone number and your email address, and then you click and then nothing happens. Click, 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 click. Nothing happens, and then you look up and you see, oh, there's an error message up there. And you didn't see it, but now it's wiped out half your information. You have to enter it again. You click, and then you find the other error message, and each time your password gets wiped out, and you have to enter it again. And by that time, I'm like, I'm out of here. There are other places that want my money. If you don't want my money, I ain't going to give it to you if you're making it this hard for me. So it's a basic hygiene factor now on the web, that you make it as easy as possible and you ask for as little as possible. Do not ask them to confirm their password. Do not put in a captcha form. Do not ask them their telephone number and all of that information. It's name and email and maybe a username if that's what you require. That's it. Because you know what? You get a lot of drop-off every time you ask someone to fill out a form. Exactly. You could be using browser detection. If you can capture which browser they're using, and in your Google Analytics it'll tell you, although not name specific, but you can capture which browser they are using. If it's a French, if their settings are set to ENFR or FRFR, it means they're French and in France. And if it's ENF or UKFR, they're French speaking, but they're in the UK. So if you can capture that, that's also, but absolutely, if you can, you're welcome to put more on, but let me tell you, you lose 20% of people every time you make them click. 20% drop off with every click. So don't make them click if you don't need to. All right, so let's talk about some best practice. You've got 4 seconds to impress somebody when they land on your website. And in that time, what are they asking them? Let's see who's been listening. What are they asking themselves when they land on your website? Yes? Yes? Will I get money? Oh, what I need? Yes? What's in it for me? Can I? Exactly, thank you. So that's at least 4 things that need to be answered within the first couple of seconds. And I can't tell you how many websites I open and I have no idea what this site is about. Generic brand name, generic picture, generic menu. Could be anything. So do you know what the fold is? Have you heard of the term the fold? So on my computer screen, right there, where it bends, that's called the fold. Your website disappears beneath the fold. When I open it up, I only see a certain part of the website. So if this was my monitor, this would be the fold where the website disappears under. So everything that shows above the fold needs to answer those 4 or 5 questions. What's in it for me? What do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to click somewhere? Do you want me to call you? Make it clear. Spell it out. Like I said in the social media course, you have to say, like my page. You know, don't just say, here's my page. And it was like, okay. Oh, you want me to like it? Okay, I'll like it. It's like, I read a fascinating book, and they said that if you fall down in a park having a heart attack, don't just expect someone to stop and help you. And then you're like, nobody stopped and helped me. What's happening to society these days? No, you have to say, you, in the brown shirt, I need help. Call an ambulance. And then suddenly everybody will come and help you, because people don't want to be embarrassed, and maybe you're just part of a play, and maybe you're breakdancing and they're just not with the latest type of dancing styles. So you actually have to say, I need help. Call an ambulance. So it's the same with your website. Tell them. Click here. call us, those kinds of things. Your home page is super duper important because it's the most visited page on your website. So your home page should be a summary of your entire website. You should have something, if anything's important to you in the site, don't make me go and find it. Don't make me go and dig in your menus to try and find stuff that's interesting to me. I ain't gonna do it. You have to bring it out and put it on the home page for me to see. So your home page needs to be a summary of what's important to you, the stuff you want to bring out. So if you have a look at Amazon's homepage, they've got so much content that I don't know how they choose what goes on there, but I'm sure they have extremely complicated algorithms in the background. So they've got top boots for skiing, because obviously, you know, it's only about North America, clearly, and they're in winter, and skiing is trending right now, maybe, somewhere in the world. And so they have ski boots up there, and then they've got a couple of phones and some videos, and it's all top search this, top wish list that. So it's all about what the customers, they're letting their users decide what goes on the homepage, whatever's most liked, most commented on. So for you in media, you can let your users decide what's on the homepage, and it's just whatever's most commented on and most liked, because that's kind of a benchmark of what's important to everybody else. So if you look at this is the MailChimp website, very simple homepage. So if you've only got one call to action, which is sign up now, then you really just need a simple site. And they've got a little video that plays there. There's their benefits-led messaging. So that it's all, do you know how to write, who knows the difference between benefits and features? What do they teach you in school these days? Okay, give me an example of a feature of a vacuum cleaner. It sucks. It's red. Not my joke. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have picked vacuum cleaners. It cleans. Yeah, cleans very well. Has a long cord so you won't trip. Small and compact, light, and won't break your back. Cleans dog hair. Those are features. What's a benefit of that vacuum cleaner? What is important to the customer? Clean your house quickly. Yeah. So we'll save you time because you don't have to go 3 times. You can just go once. So that's a benefit because it's not focused on the product, it's focused on the user. So now look at your website and tell me if your main sentences are focused on the users or focused on your products. It's all about your users. That's the one thing I keep banging on about up here. It's about your customers. It's not about you. So if you don't know what your benefits are, that means you haven't spent enough time with your customers. If you don't know what's important to them, it's very simple to fix that. Just get in the room with a couple of your customers one by one, not in a group, because inevitably there's some loud mouth that dominates the whole conversation and everybody else is just like, yeah, what they said. So get them one by one and watch how they engage with your website and get them to talk out loud and have a listen to what they're saying. And that's how you'll know whether you're what's important to them. And maybe you might learn something. And maybe you might go and change some of your wording on your website or maybe even your services and some of your products. So not everybody needs a short home page. How many feel they need a short home page? Yep. What you can do is you can have this short home page, and then if you scroll down, there could still be lots more down there, but it could be nice and clear up here, but then you could have more benefits down at the bottom. People like scrolling. If you've got, there's another short home page. This is the PayPal. So PayPal and MailChimp, it's sign up now. That's their call to action. But Etsy, who knows Etsy.com? Yeah, Etsy is all about scrolling. Pinterest is all about scrolling. And most of your e-commerce websites are scrolling. So the long home page has a lot of value for people who are looking to waste time. So those of you who are in media definitely have a super long home page. How many of you have an app? Is it a media app? Or like an online news app? Yeah. The main point in life is to not let people click. So have a little summary, a picture, a heading, a summary, and a read more. And as they're scrolling down, they can decide what they want to read or not. Give them enough information to make a sale. And you can see these days, people are used to being overwhelmed with a lot of info. They want a lot of information. As long as it's not all Pinterest, Twitter feed over there, customer comments over here, some product information and a blog, and it's all in one, like 6 columns across. That's very messy. You know, this is all of a type. So it's all pictures. Yes. Yep. So I'll get to a slide now. Give people more than one way of reaching the same information. Have both. In fact, have 3 or 4 ways of getting to the collection. In the menu, in the big slider, in a small block, in 6 little small broken up blocks, in the footer stacks. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having the same piece of information in 6 different ways. So news sites, they all scroll down, Pinterest, Etsy, don't make me click. People fear clicking. So you have a look at our awesome website, as I showed you guys last time. The order, it's in order of priority. It's in order of priority, right? So you always have a home page. Because yes, I know the logo is also clickable. And yes, Amazon and eBay and Spree and all of those sites, they don't have a home button. You literally have to click on the logo to get there. So yes, people are learning, but there's still a lot of people in South Africa that are that are not very clued up when it comes to websites. So just have a damn home link. They don't know how to get home. They get lost. They feel stupid and they click away. So have a home link and don't be clever and put a little home icon there. Just have something called home. And then the rest is in order of priority. Because how do people's eyes read on the web? How do people read on the web? Yes, top to bottom, left to right. Top to bottom, left to right. So if I have about us right there, well, I don't know. Do I want to sell us before I want to sell what we do? It depends. If it's Dylan Kolstad Consulting Services, then yes. I suppose about us is very important, and it might be the next thing after home. But for shift 1, it's marketing, training, online, websites, PR, and then about us and contact us. So have it in order of priority of the sales that you want and your product priority. It must be responsive. It must open beautifully on a tablet, and it must open beautifully on a cell phone. Those are non-negotiables these days. It's called responsive design. How many of you don't have a responsive website? Good. I'm glad to see that. How many of you have a Mobi site, .mobi? Yeah, those are also a bit redundant these days. Your website should have a blog because it's good for Google and it's a nice way for you to be continually adding content to your site and be engaged in your site. Your website needs to have social sharing icons. So there's hosts of different ones. You can see, I used this example last time, but Mashable will tell you on each article how many times it's been shared. It makes it easy for you to share it, and it tells you what the sharing rate was. So there's a little graph to say, shared a lot, and then it's been tapering off as it gets older and older. So you can see where you are in terms of the freshness of that article. it definitely needs to have a share and a tweet and a icons here. And can you see, I haven't even read this article. This is the summary. This is the summary page, the heading. And it's offering me to share it without having even read it. Because people are time poor. And you can kind of read by the article, well, I'm all about gadgets and I'm all about commuters, so I'm sure it's fine. You know what? I'm sure it's fine. I'm going to take a risk. Let's just share it. And you can share it right from there without even having to opened it and read it. So make it easy for your customers, especially you people in media, to share from the headline summary. And then if you open the article, you've got all of these things. Make it easy. And if you have an e-commerce website or any other website, make it easy for customers to leave a comment and share those comments. Same thing there with your share icons and stuff like that on your e-commerce sites. How many of you are selling, have an e-commerce site selling things online? Yep. Do you have the magnifying glass where you can go over the product? We can do that for you. Okay, menu order. Make sure you get it in the right order. Do you feel your menu's in the right order? Anybody feel the menu's in the wrong order? It's very simple for you guys to change. Just go in, change it. If you have a WordPress site, if you don't, ask your developers to do it, then wait 6 months. So this is what I was saying earlier. Give them 3 ways to navigate to the same content. The footer, the menu, the top, the scrollies, some text from your home page. And then definitely be cross-linking your pages to each other. So every single page needs to link to 2 other pages. Don't just leave them in this desert, like you just dump them there at a bus stop and there's no other buses leaving from that bus. You've just taken someone to a bus stop and left them there, all by themselves in the desert. Definitely have a train leaving from there, and an aeroplane leaving from there, and another bus and a taxi from that stop. Do you understand the analogy? Have links on your pages to other content. So are there ways you can make your digital experience a face-to-face one or a human one in any way? So we're a digital agency. We're going to be posting the stuff online. We've got all our own social media running and all our own blogging going, and we rank in Google and blah, and we do everything we're telling you to do. But can you see what I'm doing here? I'm looking you in the eye. I am taking a digital brand that you may only have heard of online until you met me face to face. So these face-to-face sessions are powerful because you are humans, and human beings are still human beings. So as I said in my previous example, the reason Yuppie Chef sends a handwritten card with every purchase is because they are trying to bridge the divide between digital and human beings and try and make them feel like it's still real and it's still personal. So give me a way you can do this. Video. You can put a video on your homepage that tells people who you are and what you do, and that person may be based in Canada. Yeah, I had a hand.
Well, we do reader events, but people who sign up on the site.
Perfect. Exactly. So anything you can think of to make your experience a little bit more personal, definitely do that. So websites that have live chat on the website, that's always a great thing. How many of you have live chat on your website? Yeah, live chat. What do you do? What's your website about? Okay. So any other ideas on how we can make it more personal? You can send somebody a sign-up gift. When you sign up with MailChimp, do you want a MailChimp t-shirt? They'll send you a t-shirt when you sign up with MailChimp. Go and open a MailChimp thing and you get a nice MailChimp t-shirt. It's just something small that they do to bridge that digital divide and say, we're people here. There are people behind MailChimp. And So don't get lost in the digital space and lose that personal touch. It's really important that you find a way of still engaging with your customer across the digital divide. So remember, every page has a job. So your secondary pages, now a secondary page is a page that's not your home page. A content page, a blog page, a contact us page, a product page, a services page. Those are secondary pages. They all have a job, and their job is to sell or engage or entertain or keep people on the site for a long time. So every page has to be doing its job, and that's what you need to try and look at with an objective eye. Is that page doing its job? Are there call to actions on that page? Because, you know, if you're writing that page, it's really hard to see what you're not doing. So just have a standard format for a page, and know 2 links to other content, a call to action at the bottom, or a call to action halfway through, whatever it is that you want to do, or a video. Make sure that every single page is doing its job, or it needs to be fired or performance managed. Otherwise, you're going to be fired or performance managed. Forms, my pet hate. Everybody's pet hate. Does anybody love filling out forms? No. So why do we put forms on our websites? Even the contact us form. It's like, well, you know, it sort of looks professional if you have a contact us form. People hate that damn form. Nobody ever replies. Does anybody ever reply to that form? There's somewhere an inbox out there in space that's just full of all of your inquiries. The great universal contact us form. So right away, you can do away with last name. You can go first name, last name, put it in the same field, or just ask first name. Why do you need the last name? Email address, sure. Do you need address, city, state, zip code? Probably not. And you see, these are all compulsory. See the red star, compulsory. Do tell them what's compulsory, because there's nothing worse than leaving something out and then being told it's compulsory. So there's something called inline validation, your form validation. Who's heard of validation? I'll see all the tickies in the room. It's when you filled out a form and you click submit, and that little error message is so important. You can't let your developers write that error message because they're not copywriters. And your validation, it's inline it must be inline. It's Ajax, if you must know. Get Ajax inline validation, and you write it under there. I need this. Don't make it pop up there, up at the very top. When I'm looking here at my submit button and I can't see the error message because it's actually under the fold up at the top. And I'm sitting there wondering, what the heck? Submit, 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 submit. So make sure any of your error messaging is inline, right there, underneath it, and tell me what to do. Make it clear. Don't just say, phone number, please. Say, please enter your, oops, I see you forgot to enter your phone number. Please enter it as follows. +27 21 554 2498. Give a nice little example, because if the error is picking up that there's no zero or there's spaces, there's nothing more annoying. So give me an example of what it needs to look like. And then definitely don't be asking me anything you don't need. And if you really, really need that form, that damn capture form, how many of you love the capture form? How many of you get that wrong and then you just have to do it over and over and over again? So annoying, especially when every time you submit, then some of your information disappears and you have to go and re-enter all that stuff. Oh, my hat. Very annoying. So if you do have a capture form, make sure that it's legible. It's easy to get right the first time. Do you know why the capture form is there? Exactly, to make sure it's a human being, because you got robots that fill this stuff out, and they want to make sure that you're a human and not the competitors or whatever. Okay, landing pages, these are for if you have special offers, or if you're doing a pay-per-click campaign or a custom targeted campaign. Don't send them to your home page. if you're doing a custom targeted campaign. Send them to a page specifically targeted for that campaign. If you're doing a campaign, create a page for the campaign. Do I need to put it in any other way so that you get it? No? Clear. Okay, so writing for the web. Remember what I said about benefits, not talking about features. So don't talk about what you are selling. Talk about why it's important to your customers. Very difficult to do this. That's why I suggest you meet with us for a little strategy session, and we will help you articulate it, and then you can stick it up on the wall and make sure that you always lead with benefits-led writing. Test your headlines. There's software out there that you can be A/B testing your headlines. Do you know what A/B testing means? Yeah. So basically what you do is you load headline A and headline B into the software. Nothing else changes. And then every person with every odd number goes to A and every even number goes to B, a visitor. So everybody gets A, B, A, B, A, B. So everybody sees either one or the other headline, and then you can see which headline is converting better or gets a better response. And then you say, okay, red headlines work best. And then you test and you say, okay, uppercase works best, or lowercase, or title case, or left aligned, or a video there versus a picture, or a person versus a product shot, or a real person versus a stock image. You can be testing all kinds of things. The thing with A/B testing, though, you can only change one variable at a time. There's something called multivariate testing. You can change multiple variables, and that's very, very, very powerful. So people always be checking out what the big guys are doing, because they're running multivariate testing the whole time. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on checking what type of link color. A blue hyperlink, does it work better than a red hyperlink? So you can use any color hyperlink as long as you only use one color hyperlink in your website. Don't use multiple colors, because people learn that, blue is the color, or red is the color. Okay. Be clear in your call to action. Can you see that they're saying a 30-day free trial on all accounts? That's nice and clear. The word free is always a good thing. I understand exactly what the terms are, and it's on all accounts, whatever that means. That would mean something to me if I knew what this was about. It's better than start an account. So make sure that your call to action is clear. You're like, oh no, but everybody knows, sign up now. Well, sign up for what? And is there a hidden cost? And I'm scared if I click the button, you're going to take the money out my bank account. And maybe it's going to be one of those things that just every month comes off, and I don't know it's coming off because I don't check that account. And so people click away. So just be absolutely clear what it's all about, and tell the user what they're going to get for it. The funnel. How many of you know about the funnel? So you need to be tracking your sales funnel from your website. So it's very simple. How many people are coming to your website in a month or in a day? Do you know that number? If you don't know that number, come to our Google Analytics course next month. You should know how many people are coming to your website. Or a page. How many people are coming to that page? And from there, how many people then drop off at your next stage, which might be sign up for the paid version, sign up and get a subscription, add an account, create an account. Whatever the next stage is, that's the next stage of your funnel. And then the next stage of your funnel, your sales funnel, which is add an item into the cart. And then the next stage is actually go through with the purchase. And all along the sales funnel, you've got people dropping off. And it's your job to figure out why they're dropping off and improve it. So if you find a whole lot of people are adding stuff to cart, so everybody knows how to go add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. How are you going to get them to, why aren't they going through with sales? Oh, well, nobody knows what PayPal is because it's international. How many of you have a PayPal account? Okay, how many of you ask for credit card details? How many of you credit card payment gateway on your website? EFT? Okay, so just be tracking your funnel and know what your conversion rates are. So whatever that bottom goal is, sign up now. Then make sure you are optimizing each step along the way. Okay, so how to increase conversions? A product video. Video increases conversion by 144%. Make sure you're using the right call to action buttons. Do they have the right wording there? We did user testing on a website where they said buy now on the home page, and we found that the customers weren't ready to buy. It should have said find out more, because they weren't ready yet. They didn't feel that they were equipped with enough information to make a choice. And in fact, the buy now button took them to a find out more page. But they thought, when I click buy now, the money's going to come off my account by magic. So make sure that the button or the link is taking them to the page, and that it's worded correctly, that it's taking them to the page a find out more page and not a buy now. And that find out more page can have a buy now button, because I'm sure, I know a little bit more about you, I know what's involved, now I'm ready to buy. Don't ask them to buy too soon if it doesn't make sense. So use the right call to action button. What's in it for me? Use customer testimonials, have short forms, and definitely use what I call trust cues. I'll show you all about that. So there's a video, and it's exactly the same as what we spoke about before. They've got benefits there for this website. That's what I call trust cues. They give you a sense of trust on every website. So every website, if you're asking for money, and in any way people are expected to transact with you financially, these logos, you can put them on for free. You don't have to get a hold of MasterCard. MasterCard doesn't have to give you permission. But somehow, just having the MasterCard logo on a website makes people trust the site. Don't ask me why. It's just a thing human beings have. So definitely put all of those nice little signs, a padlock and a lock and privacy and security, on your website to make people have a sense of trust if you charge money. Okay, how can you increase conversions? Put real people on your homepage. No stock photography. These days you can get stock photography of real people. Yeah. So there are actually sites out there that sell you very ordinary looking people for your website. That it immediately feels a lot more trustworthy. So definitely, if you have Susan says the following about, and then you've got the stock photo, totally not believable. If you have a real photo from a Facebook page, it must be blurry, typing mistakes in the testimonials, and that is a lot more trustworthy than too glossy. If you change your call to action from green to red, you can increase conversions by 34%. Move your buy now button around, or your sign up now, or your join now button. Test different iterations. And test different wording. Make it more aggressive. Make it less aggressive. It just depends on what you're doing in your business. So there's some examples of testimonials and trust cues. Here's a testimonial, and there we have some trust cues at the bottom. So how to decrease conversion, how to get people to leave your site and not trust your site. Have a website that takes a long time to load. That gets people really annoyed, especially in South Africa, where our broadband is not the fastest in the world. Have lengthy forms. Don't have a mobile-friendly website. Have lots of text. Use Flash. Have lots of captures. What else? What else annoys people? Free ads. Soundtrack. Oh, my hat. Soundtrack. That is so annoying. Where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? Where? Yeah. So don't annoy your customers. Pop-ups. I must tell you that the pop-up newsletter is very annoying. We've done user testing and nobody's filled it in. Have you found anybody's filling in that pop-up for your newsletter? Yeah. It's in the menu. Fantastic. So a lot of websites these days have a pop-up for a newsletter. And by all means have it. If not too soon. Have a nice delay. So first draw me in, and then, okay, actually I want to sign up. Because there are certain pop-ups that I do fill out. Oh, okay, I actually want to be kept in the loop with what's going on this website, and fill it in. So definitely have it, but have a delay. And then just see if nobody's filling it out because they first want to shop around, don't annoy them. Put it, like Beverly did, put it in her sidebar or somewhere where it's a little bit unobtrusive but still there. Okay, so let's look at the pros. Yuppie Chef. They have a lot of products on their homepage, a nice long homepage for scrolling. Your image treatment is very important. You need to decide what your visual image, your image treatment is for your brand. So if your images are all on a pristine white background with a very faint drop shadow, then that is your look and you will not deviate from that. You need to decide if it's all shot on fluffy white fur or if it's shot on brick. Or if your models are out in Woodstock against a brick wall with cracked concrete and they're doing stylized shots, that's your photographic treatment and you need to hold true to that. Your photographic treatment can make your website pop. It can make you stand out against your competitors. So if your photos and you're selling something that's visual and your photos are exactly like everybody else's photos, you know, why are you going to stand out? Your website can stand out literally based purely on your photographic treatment. So if you're selling something and everybody's selling the same thing as you, have a look at your photos and see if that can be a differentiator. If every photo can tell a story. So the photographer, what's her name now? She does the Lavazza, she did the Lavazza photo shoots. What's her name, that famous international photographer? I can't remember her name. Yes, thank you, Annie Leibowitz. She does all the Lavazza photos. And her photos usually have a story. In every photo that she takes, you can see people are engaging and there's some emotional turmoil or something is happening on subtle levels. And people that do photo shots with her and brands that have those, you know, the styling of the photo shoot becomes the message. And you know, you can suck somebody in and they will literally just stare at that photo and try and understand the story behind it. It's not just somebody standing there drinking some coffee. So if you have a look at the Lavazza posters and those campaigns, they really, really stand out because of their photo treatment. So definitely have that as something that you know what your photographic treatment is about. This is Kalahari.com, very product heavy as you would expect. Take a lot, same thing. Now I want to show you Amazon because I found Amazon to be extremely user unfriendly. They're testing a new thing. I can only imagine that it's in testing because I can't imagine that somebody like Amazon is actually doing this. Do yourself a favor and go onto Amazon and then hover over any of these products and you will see the biggest failure that I can tell you in website design now. So on the one hand, I'm telling you, look at what the big guys are doing, and the other hand, I'm telling you, don't do what they're doing. In some cases, it was so user unfriendly to hover over this and then a little sidebar pops out. But if I'm here, it pops out to the right. And if I'm here, it pops out to the left. So my eyes constantly shooting around, I couldn't take it in. Maybe it's just me. But I found it really hard and not all of their things operated like that. So there was this real inconsistency in user experience. And I felt they were being too clever. Why can't you just put the price underneath? You know, don't make it pop out on a hover over. Make it really simple and easy for me to see what the pricing is and the star rating. And even though it's not a click, it's a hover over, it's a mouse over, I found it really, really a failure of usability. Okay, anybody here have a foreign language website? Yeah? So you found that French is much longer than English? The French language, German especially, can be really long. Afrikaans can be really, really long. And if you're doing international websites, there's a lot of things you need to take into account. You can't use a Congolese national to translate for you in French. You can't use a South American Chilean to translate for you into Spanish if you're targeting Spain, because the French from France can pick up the nuances and the Spanish from Spain pick up the nuances that is not translated by a local, and immediately there's a disconnect. So you need to use locals that live in that country to do your translations for you, or at least from that country, unless you're targeting Chile. Okay, SEO. I'm not going to go on to the SEO too much because most of you were here for the SEO session. Yep. So just a quick highlight. You can pay to rank in Google. You need to do all of these things right. This is called on-page SEO. So you make sure that you've got one header one, couple of header twos, couple of header threes, lots of text, that you've marked everything clearly and that you're using your keywords. And keywords tell Google what the page is about and also tell people what the page is about. And it's best to target long tail keywords, which is long sentences like web hosting in South Africa or website design, Cape Town, WordPress. Those are the kinds of things you want to rank for because people are more in the mood to buy when they use longer tail keywords. How many of you have Google Analytics? How many of you look at your Google Analytics? How many of you look at it every day? Very good, very good. How many of you don't have Google Analytics? And how many of you want to have Google Analytics? Okay, so does anybody use any tracking software besides Google Analytics? Anybody use Alexa.com or one of those other programs? So there's a host of different tracking sites out there. Google Analytics is the most popular one because it's free and it integrates seamlessly with your website. So it can tell you where people are abandoning content. Do you know which pages are not being looked at or have a high bounce rate? Now, bounce rate means they open it, they close the site down. So from that page, people are bouncing. So you got to know which pages are costing you. And go in there and see why. Open that page and fix it up. Maybe it's all a mess and it's all in the wrong order and it's not clear and it's not about what the page said it was about. Go in there and fix it up. So which are your most popular pages? Can you cross-sell people from those pages? So what would be amazing is if you put a banner on your most popular page, or not a banner, some link to something else you want to sell or tell them about an event coming up. So use your most popular pages to punt other things. And definitely have a look at where people are, the user journey through the website. It might surprise you to find out what the most popular sites are and which pages are not working. All right. Anybody have anything they want to say, how they've used Google Analytics to improve the user experience or their sales or conversions? Anybody used Google? Has Google Analytics helped anybody to change something on their website? Given you some insights? Yeah? What do you want to share with us?
I learned yesterday how to use Google Analytics.
Okay. You're finding your feet.
But I've seen some useful.
Good. Yeah.
For our own site.
Exactly. Yes. Fantastic. Okay, so let's see if we've answered your questions. Who feels that they still have a question that they want us to address? Who feels like they learned something today? Who feels that their website's got some holes and that need plugging? Okay, fantastic. Does anybody feel that they've been ripped off and I owe them 2 hours of their life? My team at the back. You're fired. Okay, so is there any other question that you might have? Yep.
I'm trying to remember the names for the heat maps so you can see where they're visually looking and where they're
The E and the F shape heat map.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what they're called. E and F shape or F shape. E shape heat map. Just Google that. Google.com, type in, just type in E heat map. That should help you. Okay, so in March, we've got blog writing, Google Analytics, WordPress, and e-commerce. Anybody interested in those courses? Did you all get the emails? And we're taking the show on the road. In April, we're going to Joburg. We're going to be doing these same 4 courses in Joburg. So if you know anybody in Joburg, do be telling them about the 4 Freebie Fridays. We're going to be doing the introduction, SEO, Google, social media, and website design. We're going to be doing that in Joburg. And then in May, we'll probably be doing Freebie Fridays again, and we'll be doing something different like email marketing. What else would you like us to add onto the list? We can do specific channels, like we got some requests for Tumblr and Instagram. We can do those specific channels. Anything else, if you think of it, drop us a line, and we can create a quick course around that. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. We can do a Twitter specific one. Yeah. An app one. Okay. On app development. Best practice for app development. Okay, so if you want to ask a few questions, we've got the Web Africa guys at the back that can answer your questions on the 399 websites. And if you're looking for e-commerce websites or other website design, you can chat to my team at the back, the gorgeous people over there. And once again, if you want a tour of the facilities, please have a chat to the ladies at the back and set up a date for the tour. And if you don't have time, drop your business card in our fishbowl, and we have a little blank business card. If you don't have a business card, drop your business card in there, and we will drop you a line and set up a time with you. Thanks so much for coming to this introduction to good website design. I hope you found it interesting and informative. And please do check out our website, www.shift1.co.za. Give us a call on 021 554 2498 or info@shift1.co.za. Keep well.